So let's talk about the concept of the radian. Okay. Now, if you talk about radian, and you've just entered your class 11th, so you would be studying about degrees so far. Okay, degrees, and now you get introduced to the idea of radian. Okay. Now, till the time you're in 10th standard, this works. But when you reach 11th class, and you do physics, radians are the preferred method of measuring the angle. And radian concept is more prevalent in physics. So any numerical you get in physics now, please ensure that you have the angles are converted into radians. But let's define what is a radian. See, radian generally comes from the concept of a circle. So if you have a circle like this, okay, and what you do is you have a radius associated with the circle. Once you have this radius known to you, what you do is you measure the length of this radius. For example, this radius is 5 centimeters. Pick this radius up and convert it into an arc, okay, with the length of this arc. Okay, when I say what is this, this is an arc. If the length of this arc is equal to the radius of the circle, okay, if the length of the arc is equal to radius of the circle, then the angle subtended by such an arc is equal to 1 radian. Okay. Now, if you are given a physics problem, and generally you will see a lot of trigonometry gets used, sine theta and cos theta. Always try and keep theta in radians. Okay, always try to keep them in radians. Now, some of you might have learned the concept of derivative. Okay, the derivative of sine theta is equal to cos theta. This derivative only works when theta is in radian. If theta is not in radian, the derivative does not hold good. It will change. Okay. So second, this is one. Second is when you have, bodies in motion. For example, you study about rotational motion, the circular motion. When you're referring to the motion of another body, okay, motion of a body, which is something like a rotational motion or circular motion. Okay, so all these motions are like this, almost like a circle. Not exactly, rotational is different, but looks like that. All the the motion which is rotational or circular in nature, the theta has to be measured again in radians. Okay, and radian, incidentally, is also the SI unit of angle. So till the time you were in class 10th, the ideas of degrees were good, but as you progress in physics, you will find that most of the physics, utilizes radians, and therefore it is very important that if you're in class 10th, and just moved into class 11th, in class 11th, progress from ideas of degrees to radians as soon as possible. Don't delay this. Understand it pretty well. What is 1 radian? 1 radian, incidentally, is around 57 point some degrees, okay? But the idea of radian is to do with movers, okay? When you see something, another body which is moving, and you want to describe the, the motion of that body, and that body is not a linear motion, okay? This body is essentially a curved motion on an arc. And the idea is, of a body under motion. But for example, if I move my head left and right, my head movement can be measured in degrees. I move 2 degrees, 1 degree. But whenever you talk about kinematics, which could be, as simple as a circular motion, always think in terms of the radian. The third very important thing for you is the fact that in the initial chapters, you have stuff like the you know, in measurement you have measurement of long distances. When you do measurement of long distances also, you have a star and you have two different points and you're trying to measure this, small angle, which is theta. This is also to be kept in radians, okay? So when you're transitioning from class 10 to 11th, see to it that all the physics is done with the help of the concept of radian. So for example, if in a numerical you just find theta is equal to 42, do not assume that this theta is equal to 42 degrees. In physics, for all you know, theta can be 42 radians. Okay? So just be careful and cross-check whether the angle which is given to you is in radians or degrees. Degrees is not used nowadays in any system, and therefore radians have been very popular among physicists and mathematicians, and all the new ideas that are developed which can use angle are developed with the help of radians. You don't need to get into too much detail of why radians and stuff like that, but radian is inspired by the idea of a motion of another body. And look at the derivative example, look at the example of astronomy. All of this is inspired by radians. So just wanted to give you a glimpse. If you're progressing from class 10 to 11th, start working on the ideas of radians and not degrees. I hope you loved my video. If you liked it, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you very much for your kind attention.